MSAD 15 has 3 questions on the November 5 ballot. The first question is around the Maine Department of Education School Revolving Renovation Fund, where we applied for a grant and we received grant approval for a new air and ventilation system at the high school, middle school, Dunn School, and Memorial School. And that would provide fresh air into every building, every classroom to meet new federal standards guidelines. And the grant portion is partially funded. The project cost is $8.9 million. And the way it is financed is, out of that $8.9 million, $3 million is forgiven. We do not have to pay it back. And then $3.4 million is financed at 0%. So we pay back the $3.4 million with no interest on it. And then the remaining $2.3 million is paid for through preferential loan interest. It'd be about 3.5%. We get the preferential loan because we're a public entity nonprofit. And so $3 million is forgiven. We do not have to pay any of that $3 million. $3.4 million is paid at 0%. And then $2.3 million is at a favorable rate, and we anticipate at about 3.5%. And so we essentially get a $9 million project for $6 million that has 4 of our 5 schools completely replacing all our ventilation systems. Our ventilation systems, one is 35 years old and one is 50 years old at the high school and the middle school. So we're at the point where we can't even replace parts anymore. So this work is going to have to be done sooner rather than later. So this is an opportunity for our school district to have 1/3 of the cost eliminated, so that in the future we don't have to worry about paying the full cost of replacing all that air quality equipment. It'll also include sprinkler systems for the high school. The second component is an actual bond. It's a bond that will go to referendum, and there are multiple components. One is to renovate the kitchen, to bring it up to date, and to make the serving line more convenient, and allow students to have more choices and to move through the line much more quickly, and avoid clumping that takes place now. The other piece is to convert the cafetorium to a actual cafeteria where the kids will eat their lunch, and then other purposes that the students can use it for, whether it be study hall, congregating area, or other things that you might do in a cafeteria space. The other piece is to add an addition where there would be a stage and renovation of music rooms, renovation of changing areas, and so that we would have 450 seats for performances, and we would have a proper stage with lighting, and we would have chorus room and band room that we really don't have right now. What they have right now is just a large classroom, and it really is not a band room or a chorus room. And this area would be used for all concerts, plays that any of the schools would have. So right now we would have every concert and every play that the high school does would be there. And then right now our elementary kids are performing in the middle school gymnasium, which is really not for concert performances. So the elementary schools and middle school would be able to use the new stage and seating areas for all their concerts and performances. And then the other piece will be on the outside of the building, where we would have 120 new parking spaces. We would have a renovated premier soccer football field. We would reposition and relocate the softball and baseball field, and we would make improvements to the middle school bowl field. And this is needed because between the middle school and the high school, we have about 48 teams. And right now, to get all the kids in for their practices and their games, some of these kids aren't getting home till 9 o'clock at night. In addition, we have a lot of community groups that like to use our fields, feeder programs, feeder soccer programs, and other groups that request to use our fields. And right now, we simply don't have the capacity to do that. And then the third piece gets around whether or not the premier field, the premier soccer football field for big games should be turf or not. And that is a question that goes back and forth a lot in the public. And so we've decided we're going to make that a separate question, and that the public can vote on if they pass the bond piece for the new fields and the new renovations in the high school, that they would determine through a vote whether or not that would be a turf field. This whole project, the air quality for the 5 schools, the new performing arts stage, the new kitchen, the new athletic fields at the middle school and the high school, the new parking spaces, the new outdoor plumbing facilities, and the outdoor athletic area. It's a generational change. It's more than just some improvements. It's a big change, recognizing that the district has to take a look at what it wants to do for the next 10, 20, and 30 years. This is going to benefit kids in kindergarten. This is going to benefit kids that aren't born yet. This is the type of project that looks at what the school department is going to have for facilities for the next 20, 30, and 40 years. So if it's voted down, it's voted down. It's been a huge amount of work to develop this, a lot of public meetings, a lot of work with architects, a lot of focus groups, a lot of discussions, public meetings, public expressing what they don't like, and we go back to the drawing board. But ultimately, it is a yes vote or a no vote. People will go into the booth and they'll vote yes or no. And if they vote no, we'll probably do some reflective work. Why did you vote no? And if they vote yes, then it's an affirmation of what we're planning for these students. So we have an excellent website. It talks about each component of the bond proposal, as well as the revolving renovation fund for air quality. In there, you'll find the original grant applications. You'll see recordings of public meetings that we've had. There's a really good FAQ page. People have sent in questions asking specifics about the athletics, asking specifics about the air quality, asking specifics about the kitchen renovation. And we've answered all those FAQ questions. The proposal's on the website. The financing is on the website. So it's very informative. So I think for people that live here, people that are interested in what our community will look like 10 and 20 years from now, what our school will offer 10 and 20 years from now, find out more and go and vote November 5.